The article I read was called National Education Standards to Be or Not to Be, and it goes over the standardized testing that is given to students from kindergarten through high school. The author of this article is Paul E. Barton, and he's an education writer for the Policy Information Center Educational Testing Service, and that website is a site that is quoted often in this article. Um, in this article, it talks about people's differences and views of standardized testing. So as we go through this PowerPoint, ask yourself, should the United States have national standards for education system? So think about what side that you would be on. So localities and states pay about 93% of the cost of schooling, and the federal government has no constitutional role in education. Um, and so there's this debate about should the federal government even be in control of the testing, or should they have more control over it to be able to have a standard for national testing? Um, there's a debate of what students should be taught and, and taught in a national test, or some of the definitions of what standardized testing should be about. Um, there's there's a lack of agreement of standardized testing. People have different mindsets about what national standards mean, because there's a different idea of value on schools' education. So, what are national standards? Um, National standards is establishing content standards means increasing the rigors of instruction. For others, it means standardizing what knowledge is taught. Um, but one of the things is that standardized testing, it usually calculates people's performance in class, but it doesn't only just show performance for students, but for teachers. On the other hand, achievement is very different among students, and maybe they achieve in other areas besides like math and reading. So this joke I put up here, it says, to ensure a fair selection, you will get the same test. You must all climb that tree. But as we can see, it's going to be easier for the monkey to climb the tree, and that it's going to be more difficult for the elephant because they have different skills. And so that's one of the debates about that. Um, so there's a variation among states. So each state has different testing, and even in the same state, there is different percentages of the standardized testing and how well they do. So that makes it really hard to get on the same level with everyone in the United States when every state is teaching something so differently. Um, there's also the difference between ages and grades. Different ages are going to be better at certain areas than students that are older. And in here it shows, I put pictures of people from all different races and environments that affect people's learning. And so testing's not can't won't always work for each student. So the top picture in this article, people believe that when students come into school, all they will think of is testing, 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 instead of gaining the knowledge that they need throughout life to um, have creative ideas. And people think that testing will ruin that for them. But there's this quote that says, Common Core is about being college and career ready. What about being ready for life? Um, and so people are saying, oh, well, it gets them prepared for college, but what about everyday life? So there needs to be a balance between those things. So my conclusion is so there's cons is everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. So testing's are downfall because kids don't always achieve the same things. But the pros are that it will prepare them for college and for success in their lives because colleges are based a lot on testing. So think about those ideas and what side that you would go on.